The National Electrical Code Section 702.8a requires a sign to indicate the type and location of the on-site optional standby power source, and it must be located at the service entrance equipment. This requirement applies to both portable and automatic standby power sources. The code uses the term on-site optional standby power source, which encompasses both types of systems. The NEC itself does not provide additional specifications for the type and size of the sign required by 702.8a. However, industry standards and local ordinances may offer more specific guidance. While the NEC doesn't mandate specific sign specifications, following these recommendations can help ensure compliance and clarity. Firstly, visibility. The sign should be placed in a conspicuous location at the service entrance equipment for easy visibility. Secondly, legibility. The sign should use clear, concise language that can be easily read from a distance. Thirdly, durability. The sign should be made of durable materials that can withstand weather and wear over time. Fourthly, content. The sign should clearly indicate the type of standby power source, such as portable generator or automatic standby generator, and its location, for example, in the garage or basement. Fifthly, size. The sign should be large enough to be easily noticed, while not being excessively large or obtrusive. Some industry standards, such as NFPA 110, provide recommendations for the size and content of standby power source signs. For example, NFPA 110 suggests that the sign be at least 6 inches high and 12 inches wide, with letters that are at least 1 inch high. Local jurisdictions may have their own ordinances that specify additional requirements for standby power source signs. It is important to check with the local building authority to determine if there are any specific rules that apply in your area. When selecting a location for the sign, consider factors such as lighting conditions and potential obstructions. The goal is to ensure that the sign is easily visible to anyone who needs to access or operate the standby power system. The sign should be made of weather-resistant materials to withstand exposure to the elements. Consider using materials such as aluminum, stainless steel, or durable plastic. When determining the size of the sign, consider the distance from which it will be viewed. A larger sign may be necessary if it will be viewed from a distance, while a smaller sign may be sufficient if it will be viewed up close. The sign should use clear, concise language that is easy to understand. Avoid using technical jargon or abbreviations that may not be familiar to everyone. The sign should clearly indicate the type of standby power source, such as a portable generator or an automatic standby generator. This will help prevent confusion and ensure that the correct procedures are followed in the event of a power outage. The sign should also indicate the location of the standby power source, such as in the garage or basement. This will help emergency responders and other personnel locate the equipment quickly and easily. It is important to keep the sign clean and free of debris to ensure that it remains legible over time. Periodically inspect the sign for damage and replace it as needed. In addition to the requirements of NEC 702.8a, there may be other applicable codes and standards that must be followed. Consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer to ensure that your standby power system is installed and maintained in accordance with all applicable requirements. The purpose of the sign is to provide important information about the standby power system to authorized personnel. The sign should be designed to be easily understood by people with varying levels of technical expertise. If you are unsure about any aspect of the sign requirements, consult with a qualified professional. Failure to comply with the sign requirements can result in fines or other penalties. It is important to take the sign requirement seriously and ensure that your standby power system is properly labeled. By following these recommendations, you can help ensure that your standby power system is safe, reliable, and compliant with all applicable codes and standards. Remember that the primary goal is to provide clear and concise information to anyone who may need to access or operate the standby power system. A well-designed and properly placed sign can help prevent accidents and ensure that the system is used safely and effectively. Consider the use of universally recognized symbols on the sign to enhance its clarity. For example, a lightning bolt symbol could be used to indicate the presence of electrical hazards. The sign should be designed to be easily updated if the standby power system is modified or upgraded. This will help ensure that the information on the sign remains accurate and up to date. It is a good practice to document the location and content of the sign in your electrical system records. This will help you keep track of the sign and ensure that it is properly maintained. When selecting a contractor to install or maintain your standby power system, make sure they are familiar with the sign requirements of NEC 702.8a. A qualified contractor will be able to help you choose the right sign for your system and ensure that it is properly installed. The cost of the sign is typically a small fraction of the overall cost of the standby power system. However, it is an important investment that can help protect people and property. Do not cut corners when it comes to the sign requirements. It is better to spend a little extra money to ensure that the sign is properly designed, installed, and maintained. The sign should be designed to be resistant to vandalism. Consider using tamper-resistant hardware or placing the sign in a location that is not easily accessible to vandals. If the standby power system is located in a hazardous area, the sign must be designed to meet the requirements of the applicable hazardous location standards. This may include using explosion-proof materials and construction methods. The sign should be designed to be compatible with the environment in which it is located. For example, if the sign is located in a corrosive environment, it should be made of corrosion-resistant materials. It is a good practice to review the sign requirements of NEC 702.8a on a regular basis to ensure that you are up to date on the latest changes. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay informed. Consult with a qualified electrical engineer to ensure that your standby power system meets all applicable codes and standards. An electrical engineer can help you design a safe and reliable system that meets your specific needs. The sign should be designed to be easily read at night. Consider using reflective materials or providing supplemental lighting to illuminate the sign. If the standby power system is used to supply emergency power, the sign must be designed to meet the requirements of the applicable emergency power standards. This may include using specific colors and symbols. The sign should be designed to be accessible to people with disabilities. Consider using tactile characters or providing audio cues to assist people with visual impairments. If the standby power system is located in a public area, the sign must be designed to meet the requirements of the Americans with Disabilities Act. This may include using specific font sizes and colors. The sign should be designed to be easily understood by people who do not speak English. Consider using multilingual signs or providing translations of the sign text. If the standby power system is located in an area with a diverse population, it is important to consider the language needs of the people who may be exposed to the sign. The sign should be designed to be environmentally friendly. Consider using recycled materials and energy-efficient lighting. If the standby power system is located in an environmentally sensitive area, it is important to minimize the environmental impact of the sign. The sign should be designed to be aesthetically pleasing. Consider using colors and graphics that complement the surrounding environment. If the standby power system is located in a prominent location, it is important to consider the aesthetic impact of the sign. The sign should be designed to be consistent with the overall design of the electrical system. Consider using similar colors, fonts, and graphics throughout the system. If the standby power system is part of a larger electrical system, it is important to maintain a consistent design aesthetic. The sign should be designed to be durable and long-lasting. Consider using high-quality materials and construction methods. If the standby power system is expected to last for many years, it is important to invest in a sign that will stand the test of time. The sign should be designed to be easy to maintain. Consider using materials and finishes that are easy to clean and repair. If the standby power system requires regular maintenance, it is important to choose a sign that is easy to keep in good condition. The sign should be designed to be cost-effective. Consider using readily available materials and construction methods. If the standby power system has a limited budget, it is important to find a sign solution that is both effective and affordable. The sign should be designed to be safe. Consider using non-toxic materials and avoiding sharp edges or corners. If the standby power system is located in an area where children may be present, it is important to take extra precautions to ensure that the sign is safe. The sign should be designed to be secure. Consider using tamper-resistant hardware and placing the sign in a location that is not easily accessible to unauthorized personnel. If the standby power system is located in a high-security area, it is important to take extra precautions to prevent theft or vandalism. The sign should be designed to be compliant with all applicable codes and standards. Consult with a qualified electrical inspector or engineer to ensure that your sign meets all of the requirements. If the standby power system is subject to regular inspections, it is important to ensure that the sign is always in compliance. The sign should be designed to be effective. Consider using clear, concise language and easily recognizable symbols. If the standby power system is intended to be used by a wide range of people, it is important to choose a sign design that will be easily understood by everyone. The sign should be designed to be efficient. Consider using energy-efficient lighting and minimizing the use of materials. If the standby power system is intended to be environmentally friendly, it is important to choose a sign design that will minimize its environmental impact. The sign should be designed to be innovative. Consider using new technologies and materials to create a sign that is both effective and visually appealing. If the standby power system is intended to be state-of-the-art, it is important to choose a sign design that reflects this. The sign should be designed to be sustainable. Consider using recycled materials and designing the sign to be easily recycled at the end of its life. If the standby power system is intended to be sustainable, it is important to choose a sign design that will minimize its environmental impact over its entire life cycle. Remember to prioritize safety, legibility, and durability when designing and installing your standby power source sign.